Hello,
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank
Good.
you.
Good. How's your week going?
Pretty great. On Monday, we got our chemistry test results.
Okay.
The full
And
score is 50 and I got 47.
okay. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. Who was the high score?
Uh, 50.
Oh,
One
okay.
of my classmates got a 50,
Okay. Okay.
which is the full mark, which is 4 marks.
Yeah, it's really good. Your score is really good. Excellent. Uh, any other exams?
Uh,
Any other
on the
results?
following day, we got our results for the physics exam.
Oh, okay.
The full score is 70 and I got 69.
Excellent. Good job. Um, and that was pretty much high score. Did anybody get 70?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But still, what now? The person that got a 70 was that the same
No.
person? No, that got a 50 in chemistry. Okay, different person. Okay, but you're right at the top of your class there, so that's really good. All right, and then you also have in a few weeks you have your midterms coming up, right?
Yep. In about a week or
A
two.
week.
A little
Okay.
more than a week.
All right. Okay. Well, if you need, just let me know if you need Friday off just to study and whatnot.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. All right. Anything else? School related.
Mm, well, the full score on my monthly exam was 514 out of 560. That
Oh,
was third in my class.
okay. All right. That's good. And how many are in your class?
40 people.
40. Okay. Okay. Good deal. Sounds like you're doing really well. Um, all right. And besides midterms, anything else coming up for you in school? Any kind of
Mm,
performances or competitions or
no, that's pretty
no?
much all done
Okay.
for us ninth graders.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I believe that the lower grades have some more activities in this term.
Okay. Any other type of school events or anything?
I'm not sure.
Not yet. Okay. Right. And then after your midterms, are you going to have any time off? Is there any other kind of holidays or anything for you?
Nope.
Nothing until after
I
the
think
first.
this year we don't have any more holidays.
Nothing. Okay. So it's nothing until after the first of the year.
Yes, nothing
After that.
until the 1st of January next year.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean that'll be here before you know it. It's right around the corner. Uh, I look at these months and they're just going by so fast. Oh. Okay. Well, it sounds like you got school in order. Everything you handled everything there. So good job. All right. Anything else for you happening? Anything outside of school? Any other activities? I know you said you were going to try to go swimming. You watched
Yes,
any?
we'll go swimming tomorrow
Okay.
if
And
the weather
and
is well, because I don't usually go swimming on rainy days.
because it's outdoors, correct?
Nope, because it is hard to get there. It is just annoying to get there when it rains.
Oh, okay. All right. Just the transportation of getting there. Okay. Have you been getting a lot of rain lately?
No,
Has there been a lot of
not
rain? No.
not actually, but it's
Okay.
been getting relatively colder
Oh, okay.
now. We're in October.
Yeah. It's been getting rain, a lot of rain here lately in the past week. So it's been difficult to get. I'll still go out, but it's just difficult because the trails I go on to walk my dog are always muddy, and rain, of course, a lot of water and stuff. So it's just a lot of cleanup when I come back in, especially with everything for the dog. So it's been but anyway, um, all right. And anything else for you going on at all? Anything that you're watching, hearing about? What's how your team's doing?
Well, I think the NBA season has started recently.
Okay. Have you watched any games or
Nope.
highlights or anything? No.
I think football is much more fun for some
Really?
reason.
Than basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like both. I like basketball too, but not NBA. More college ball. But yeah, it's good. Uh, what else?
Well, in sports, on Sunday, the Dolphins lost to the Jaguars, 23-20.
No, another close game.
Yeah, but it was against one of the worst teams in the league.
Okay, so that doesn't say a whole lot for Miami.
They were leading 13-3
Uh-huh.
in the second quarter,
Ah, okay. Okay. Well,
and the Jaguars won by a field goal at the last second.
okay. Then that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Well, they just couldn't hold on to that lead. So
Yes.
when you get that such a close game near the end of the last quarter there, it could go any way. But heck, I saw uh, when Joe Montana was playing, not for the 49ers, when he was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. I forget the team they were playing, but they were down by 2 touchdowns in the last quarter. 2 touchdowns. We're talking like 14 points, with a touchdown and field goal, or whatever. But it was like about 14 points. It was at least 2 touchdowns, and there was like 6-7 minutes left in the last half, and Joe Montana ran both interception, and there was an interception thrown from the other team. I can't remember the other team. Uh, and of course, they recovered it. And then he also threw a Hail Mary, and they scored a touchdown. They ended up winning at the last, the last few seconds of that game, and it was one of the most phenomenal games I ever watched. I was very young, but so things can happen. I just remember that being such an upset. So anyway, okay. Anything else? Anything world news? I don't keep up with that, or local news. What's going on in China?
Mm, and I'm been not catching up with the news lately
You haven't
because
had.
of
Okay.
school issues.
Okay. Okay. It seems for me, it's just seems like been pretty quiet, with local news and things like that. I'm just not nothing earth shattering, earth shaking, I should say. Um, yeah, not a whole lot. Yeah. Hey, I was going to say, what you got your paper that I looked at, and there was just a few corrections, not a whole lot, but overall, well done. Your essay on with Buck. Yeah, did you get that back?
Yeah, but my phone broke, so I can't see it now.
Oh no. Okay. Um. Well, hold on a second. I have the corrected one. Um. I have the corrected one I brought up just now. And here it is now, so you can see it on the screen. And let me see if I can. Let me see if I can bring up the. I'll bring up the one that you sent me. but no, I don't have that on the reach. Okay, so just instead of in the beginning of the book, a better preposition would be at the beginning. Right? And you still have the same, the next sentence, all that kind of stuff is fine. But you can go ahead and read it if you'd like. This is the corrected version. And if you want, so you don't, your phone's broke, so on WeChat I can't send you anything, correct?
Yes, I can't see the revised one, but I have the original one in my computer.
Okay, but but you can see it on my screen right now, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I was what I can do is, do you have the only other thing is I can send it to you. Well, I guess I can send it to you in email if you can put it up, if you can bring it up on a computer. Do you want me to do that?
Mm,
And if not, that's okay too. I mean, it's just I sent it to you at some point. I'm sure you'll get WeChat back, right? You'll get a phone or whatever.
maybe you can send it to my father.
Okay, I'll send this one to your father then on his.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to go over it again, or do you want to me to
Yes.
send it to him? Okay, go ahead and read it then if you would like, since you have the other one. Okay.
At the beginning of the book, Buck was owned by Judge Miller in the Southland. One day, he was sold to a dog trafficker, which eventually led him to the man with the red sweater. Here, he was beaten when he tried to attack the man, and after a few attempts finally became obedient. He was taught the law of club and fang. When he arrived in the Northland, he got to experience the cruel world firsthand when he saw the ruthless killing of the good-natured Curly with his own eyes. From that point, he knew how serious the situation he was in and began to change. When he traveled with Perrault and Francois, he learned about surviving in the bitter, cold wilderness. At that point, his inner wild self began to emerge. He was no longer a domesticated pet. He became a wild primordial beast. That made him have the urge to kill his rival Spitz and become the leader of the team. Throughout his trips, he became more inclined to the wild. However, when John Thornton rescued him, Buck loved him dearly and constantly cared for him and his friends. That only prolonged his return to the wild, because on the trail, he went out to the wilderness several times for days on end. He even ran with wolves and hunted a giant bull. Even so, John Thornton was still his one link to him. John Thornton was still his one link to humanity. That link was severed by the Ehats, who killed Thornton and his friends. After killing a bunch of the Ehats for revenge, Buck was truly free. He was a thing of the wild and would remain until his dying days. Buck had finally returned to the wild.
Okay. So, like I said, overall, there was just maybe a grammar error, punctuation, or something like that, and like I said, I made that preposition at the beginning. But other than that, really good. Good job. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want more practice, Z, with any kind of writing, just let me know. I mean, let me ask you, when you wrote this essay, how long did it take? Oh, in general.
About 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay, so not very long. You can knock out an essay pretty quick. Okay, good. Yeah, if you want any more practice with any other type of writing or whatnot, and I know you're really busy with your regular school, but if you have time and you want more practice, just let me know and I can assign you different topics for some essays, opinionated, argumentative papers or anything like that, comparative, and just practice your writing. But good work. Any questions?
Nope.
No. Okay. So you ready to start Animal Farm?
Not yet.
No.
Do you want to know more about sports teams?
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were done. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Tell me what else is besides Miami.
Today's
What else?
today's
Uh-huh.
game is between the Broncos and the Browns,
Ah, okay.
and the Browns won 17-14.
Oh, okay. So they beat the Broncos already.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Good.
Broncos um has an interesting history this season. They
Why
won
is that?
three in a row at the beginning of the season.
Uh-huh.
Oh, against the Giants, the Jaguars, and the Jets. Then they
Okay.
lost four in a row against the Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, and Browns.
Okay.
That's because the first three are weak teams, while the other four are much stronger teams.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Kind of
what
like
other,
how the
how,
Dolphins went in 2018. They won three games against mediocre teams. Not actually weak, but okay teams.
You are making your decision.
Wait, they won three in a row, then lost to the Patriots 38-7,
okay.
and that kind of snowballed out of control. And they finished 7-9.
Okay. How about how the 49ers doing?
Last week, I think some of the teams had buys,
Oh,
and
they
one of
advised.
them was the 49ers.
Okay. What about Tampa?
They won on Friday against the Eagles, 28-22 last Friday.
All right. So Tampa's doing good. Yeah. What do
They're
Tampa have?
5-1.
What do they have? Just they have one loss or none?
One loss
One loss. Okay.
against the Los Angeles Rams.
It's the Rams. Okay. So how are they doing?
They're doing pretty strong.
Okay.
They're the top of their NFC South,
Okay.
led, and the other three teams are New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, and Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of another team. Um, hmm. Oh, what's yeah, I see there. Let me, what other? What about Arizona?
Oh, that team.
Yeah.
Last week,
Uh-huh. And the Ravens.
they they beat the Browns 37-14 and stayed undefeated,
Okay.
6-0. This week they're going up against the 1-5 Houston Texans. So
Okay.
probably they're going to get 7-0, which is very surprising.
Okay. Okay. And what about the Ravens?
The Ravens, they beat the Los Angeles Chargers 34-6 last week,
Oh, okay. All right.
which is Los Angeles is pretty good. Then they are 4-2 now, and the
Okay.
Ravens are 5-1.
Okay. Um, yeah, let's see. How about how about Kansas City?
And at the beginning of the season, Kansas City was in a slump. They were under 500 for the
Mhm.
first time. That means they have a losing record for the first
Mhm.
time in about 2 to 3 years.
Mhm. Okay.
And
And good.
and now I think they're doing better.
Okay.
They beat the Washington football team 31-13 last week, and
Uh,
they're now 3-3.
okay. All right. Trying to think of any other teams that most of the Eagles lost. How about the Bears?
The Bears,
Yeah,
I think they
isn't
lost
there?
to the Packers.
Oh, okay. So they're not very good. I think aren't they playing Tampa Bay coming up? So
No,
against Tampa.
they're uh
They're not. Yeah, aren't they? Aren't they playing? They're playing Tampa on Sunday, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, they're gonna lose. I
How
mean,
did you know?
yeah, I see things too.
Did you
um,
see it yourself or heard it from your son?
no, I see it myself.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk to my kids every week or anything, but when I do, it's usually it could be right near a game. My sons get so involved in the football, and not that they go to a lot of games, but I mean they do go. They go to a lot of college games and local teams that are like in their areas and stuff like that. And then they're just with all their friends, and I'm last on the list. So we'll talk about it like before the fact or after or something. But um, but yeah. So if Tampa's playing Chicago on Sunday, Tampa should win.
yeah, they're playing a home game.
Okay, who's gonna win? San Francisco's gonna play also.
San
And
Francisco
the
against
Colts.
the Colts.
Yeah. What's your prediction? I should start doing that with you. Look at upcoming games.
Prediction.
Yeah.
It's my first time doing that. I've
Wow.
seen people doing that on fantasy leagues and pick them.
Yeah, fantasy football. Yeah.
I don't know really much. Don't know really much that much about either team. The Colts beat the Dolphins, so there's something.
Yeah, but the Dolphins aren't that strong this year.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound look like it. Okay.
and
So Tampa's
San
probably
Francisco
better.
had a bye.
Yeah, but but their record.
San Francisco had a bye week, so they're fully rested.
Uh-huh. And see, and those are see, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff, but my sons will tell me like who's injured or what's going on with all these players. They know every single player on every single team. And
Wait, what?
They know all. Go ahead. What's that?
How did they know every single player?
They just that's their thing. They know who are the key players on all the teams, even in college. This is like that's what I'm saying. My boys are insane when it comes to sports. They know not just stats, but they know history, who played last year on a team, when they got traded, when when they retired, when they the stats of every game. And so they follow all of this, and they know who's injured, and they know I don't know, they just know all this stuff. And then they'll, because I used to try to trick them. I would say a name, and I remember one time I said I threw a name out there, like an actor, some kind of old time actor. And I threw that name into a team, and I said, "Oh, how's Danny Glover doing on the Bulls?" And my son looked at me and he goes, "Danny Glover." He goes, "Mom, there's no Danny Glover on the Bulls." And I said, "My God!" I mean, I would just, say something like that, just something stupid, and they would catch it. And so that's how I knew they really knew their stuff. They knew, But anyway, besides that, yeah, but they do. They know all that. They know all that. And I know it's ridiculous, but that's their hobby. That's what they follow. They live for sports, and maybe not. They don't know like hockey and things like that because they don't follow that. They probably know key players, but they live and breathe ESPN every single day, all the time.
Every single day, all the time.
I mean, I'm not. Besides, not. I mean, they work and all that kind of stuff. But I'm saying that's just that's their passion. And I would say for one of my sons, Benjamin. I mean, he knows a lot, but not as much as Elliot. Elliot knows like everything about sports.
Is Elliot older?
He's one of the twins.
Oh.
No, he's not my oldest one. My oldest is Scott. No, and my oldest doesn't follow sports at all. He doesn't care about sports. But the twins, they do, and Elliot knows more than Benjamin. So I could ask him anything about anyone sports related, even in the past, probably in the past 5 years or 10 years or something like that, and he would know. So when he's the one that I used to do all the NCAA picks, for basketball, when it came to the basketball tournament in March. And we would always pick our teams, and I would always go to him even on our pools at work, and I would say, "Hey, Elliot, who do you think on the like on the roster, who's going to win the first game of this and that?" And he would tell me, and I would say, "Okay, why?" And he says, "Well, this is what happened with so and so, LeBron James last year, a lot of, or just whatever." And these are all college teams, not pro teams. And because he follows college basketball as well, and more heavily than NBA. But so we would pick our teams like that, and I said, "No," I go, I think Florida State's gonna I think beat this one." He goes, "Well, they're always going to be upsets, Mom." He goes, "There's going to be at least 5 or 6, even in every round, where you're going to think, because they go into the round with being 16-1 or whatever, and so you think, just by odds, that the team that won 16 games already is going to beat the one, that lost, 12. But not necessarily. Certain things sometimes happen with a player, and we always don't know everything. But yeah, he's the one. He would be my go-to person for sports, and that's how I knew he really knew a lot about the players and whatnot, and really knew his teams, because I would, just interject these fake people all the time, not all the time, but quite often into a conversation about somebody on a team, and he'd pick it up right away. That doesn't John Fitzgerald. He's on the Mom. There's no John. I'm like, really? I go, no, really, isn't there a John? He says, Mom, there isn't. He goes, knock it off. Stop it. You're trying to trick me. So anyway. But yeah, so I was just, looking at those teams coming up. And so now I'm asking you about your prediction. So San Francisco or the Colts, what do you say?
San Francisco.
Okay. All right.
And the Dolphins are playing the Falcons this one next week.
Yeah.
And the Falcons are 2-3, while the Dolphins are 1-5.
Okay, so what's your prediction? The Falcons in?
This is a winnable game by the Dolphins.
Okay, so what's your prediction? You can't be on the fence. You gotta choose a side.
I'm taking the Dolphins because they got Tua looked good on his return on Jacksonville against Jacksonville. He threw 2 touchdowns, even though he has an interception. The offense is back to life because they scored a touchdown on the first drive of the game, and they scored 2 field goals on the following drives.
All right. I'm gonna go down. Go ahead.
As the game progresses, the Dolphins' offense and defense both get to sputter, especially in the second and third quarters, and that's why Jacksonville took the opportunity to make it 17-13 by scoring 2 touchdowns. And in the fourth quarter, Miami's offense came back to life and scored another touchdown, which put them ahead 20-17. But somehow Jacksonville finds a way to score 2 field goals to win the game.
All right. Okay. I'm writing these predictions down that we're gonna see next week. Yeah. What do you have for Washington and Green Bay? What do you think?
Washington and Green Bay. Yeah, I'm taking Packers.
Okay.
Because why not?
Okay. What about Kansas City or Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Oh, okay, good. Yes, we know Atlanta. And how about the Jets or the Patriots?
Patriots, maybe.
Okay. How about the the Giants or the Cardinals?
I think isn't it the Panthers?
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, good. Okay, Panthers and the Giants. What do you think?
I'm picking the Giants for once.
Okay. And how about Cincinnati and Baltimore?
Baltimore. I'm taking Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay.
I don't really know very much about these other teams, though.
Okay. I'm gonna start learning. Okay. The Eagles or the Raiders?
Um, the Raiders.
The Raiders?
No,
Okay.
wait.
No?
Let me see.
The Eagles or the Raiders?
They just lost their head coach.
Okay.
I
Who
think
just lost? Who lost their coach? Which team?
the Raiders.
Okay.
I just want to know when they lost it. Was it before or after?
I don't know. Who you choosing? But see, that's good. That you're
The Raiders are at home game, and they just beat the Broncos without their head coach. So I believe they have the ability to beat the Eagles.
Okay, so you're going. So once again, you're going to go for the Raiders, then, yeah?
Yes.
All right. Okay. And what else do we have? Detroit and the
the winless Detroit.
Okay, so
versus
Detroit.
Versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, I mean the Rams. Yeah, so you're gonna go Detroit, yeah?
Yes, Detroit. Why not?
Okay.
This
and
is
what
like
about
one best upsets.
Okay, and what about Houston or the
They literally have a 13% chance of winning.
Houston?
Detroit.
Okay.
I mean, the Dolphins had that when they played the Patriots, thing in 2019.
Okay.
For 11, they had 4 wins and 11 losses against the Patriots team that had 12 wins and 3 losses. And the Dolphins won.
Okay.
At an away game.
Okay. Well, what about this one? What about Houston? Which one are you going for?
Houston versus Arizona. I'm Arizona because I want to keep them undefeated.
Okay. And you said Tampa Bay, Chicago, Tampa Bay?
Chicago. Why not?
You think Chicago? Oh, that'll be a good one. I'll be watching. I'm not going to watch that one, but okay. And then the last one again, we said San Francisco or the Colts, and you said
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay. All right. So I got your predictions for the upcoming week. Oh, but actually, and then on Monday they also have
the Saints versus Seahawks.
Saints and Seahawks. Yeah. Which one?
Saints.
Saints. Okay. Good for you. Okay, we'll see what happens.
What about your picks?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't even guess because I have no idea. These are the ones I just want though. So of course I want San Francisco and I want Tampa Bay. So we'll be against each other on that one. You say Chicago, I say Tampa Bay.
What about your Suns?
Oh, well, I have no idea what teams they would want other than I know Tampa Bay and I know San Francisco and I do believe the Patriots. So on the and then they probably would want the Raiders as well.
So which city are they living in right
now? Benjamin is in Arkansas. He'll be going to and he'll be going to Colorado. He'll be going to Denver in I'm sorry, no, he's not going to Denver. He's going to Tampa Bay. Yeah, where he was born. He's going to be going there in March. So he'll be moving. He and his wife are moving to Florida. So he'll be right there in Tampa Bay with the Bucs. I know. So he'll be going to games there. I mean, like all the time. So because they'll be living right there, and he loves that team. So anyway, yeah, he'll be there. And then Elliot's in North Carolina. He is up near
Carolina
Asheville.
Panthers.
Yeah, yeah.
Baby.
But he's a, and then like I said, he's a huge Duke fan.
Duke. Oh, one of the college teams, I
And
believe.
he doesn't like North Carolina. That's the rival, the Tar Heels. So and it was really interesting is when we lived in North Carolina, because they grew up all their high school years, and even 10 years we lived there, and we were real close to the border of Virginia and North Carolina. We're in North Carolina, but real close to Virginia. So we had a lot of college. It seems like a lot of college teams in our area. And when I say area, I say within a maybe an 6-8 hour radius between with Virginia and North Carolina. But since you live in North Carolina, you're usually a fan of one of those two major college teams, and that would be the Tar Heels or Duke. And all of his friends, I would say not all, but I would say 95% of his friends were all Tar Heel fans, and he was a Duke fan. And he always stayed loyal to Duke to all these years, and even now, that's just his team. He's met Coach K, and
Wow.
I took him to a couple of games, Duke games, which were, I even took him out of school for a tournament that they were playing in Greensboro, and I remember going to the high school. In fact, I took all the boys out, and I said they had no idea I was working on trying to get these tickets for a tournament that they were playing. I really wanted them to see the game live. And I remember going to the high school one day, and it was, I don't know, it was around like 1 p.m. And I talked to the principal, and I said, "Oh, Mr. Purnell, can I grab the boys out of school today?" And he says, "Yeah, is there a problem?" I said, "Oh, no, but I got Duke tickets for tonight in Greensboro. It's a 4-hour drive." And he says, "Oh my gosh, of course, get him out," because he was a big sports fan as well. And he says, "Of course." And so I remember going to the classroom, and I remember the boys looking up because they were both in the same class. And I said, "Hey," and then they looked up right away and they said, "Mom, what's wrong? What's up?" And I said, "Hey, you guys want to go to a Duke game?" And I just remember they were just so excited, and they were just screaming, and because they were so excited. But they did, and so they met Coach K.
Did
And then
Duke won?
what's that?
Did Duke won?
Yes. Oh, of course.
What was the score?
I don't even remember the score, but it was they won like by 28 something points or something. It was just a blowout, and we got there early, and once again it wasn't just they weren't just playing. There was also, I think, 2 or 3 other teams that were playing in that tournament. It was an AT&T tournament, and it wasn't like a significant game or anything like that. But and then he also got tickets. I wasn't there, but he also got tickets when they were playing in the final. I think it was in the Elite 8 or the Elite 6. 8 wasn't the Final Four, but I think it was the 8 in one of the NCAA tournaments as well. They were playing at the time. I think it was in either Atlanta or was it Florida. But he got tickets to that. But yeah, he did. Yeah. And so he's always just been a loyal. It doesn't matter how bad Duke ever, how they did. I mean, sometimes they I think a few years ago in the tournament they lost in a really early round. And I can't remember what year it was, but it wasn't that long ago, maybe 5 years ago or something. And normally they go, usually they make it to the 16, if not 8. And he's always just been a loyal, true fan, regardless. And then when it comes near the time of the tournament playing, or even during the regular college games, he'll go back and forth with his friends on Facebook, and he watches every single game, and he's always putting his predictions in Facebook, with his friends, and all of his friends respond, and yeah, and his wife, or not wife, but Elliot's girlfriend is not married yet, is also a big Duke fan as well, and they go to a lot of like games together, not just Duke games, but other sporting games and other basketball and football games. And I want to say basketball more. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's all I know. But sports were always in our house really big, really important. And that was their extracurricular activity. They didn't, besides school, they were just heavily involved in sports. And for me, that was good because it kept them out of trouble. They weren't going to get in trouble with anybody. And they just made really good relationships, good friendships with people, their friends all growing up through school, the same people over and over. So, and especially in the US, the culture is different, I know, than in China. And I think it's much easier for boys to get in trouble, and especially when they're growing up in their teenage years, getting with the wrong crowd, hanging out with the wrong kids. But all of his friends were all sports minded, and so that was their fun and excitement. Was if they weren't playing, they were watching, sports. So, and I grew up with sports, and I played a lot of sports, so it was important for them to really like sports as well. And we would do a lot of different things, as far as we would go to a lot of different kind of games together, but even not just basketball and football. I took them to hockey games when we lived in North Carolina, because we had a hockey team in Virginia that was like 45 minutes away. And then they had this, and I don't know if you ever heard of this, and I don't know how popular it is now, but they had this thing called arena football. And it was like not a professional team, but it was like a semi-pro team, and it was really big about 15 years ago. And there was a team in Virginia, and what they did was they played football indoors. And in like the field was like half, it wasn't a field, it was on a court. And so it was like half the size of a regular football field. And they had like a net all around the stadium, so the ball wouldn't be thrown out in the in the stands where people were watching. And that was actually really exciting. And I remember buying season tickets to to arena football, and we used to go I'm trying to think of the day it was. It was the middle of the week. It wasn't like a Friday or Saturday. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday, and the whole family went. I just bought 5, and I bought 5 season tickets every week for the whole season. And I forget. I mean, it wasn't. I think it was expensive, but it was worth it. It was something that we just did as a family. It was actually a lot of fun. So if you ever look that up, it's called arena football. So, and I didn't, yeah, and it's really cool. I mean, you look at it, you look at, like a picture or something like that on the internet, you'll see, and it's because it's like watching a basketball game. You know how you watch it live, like in a court, and everything is just right there. I mean, you see the players and how big they are, and so, it's so close. So, but it was a lot of fun. But that's the kind of stuff that we would do. We didn't go to a lot of movies. I did that with Scott, my oldest. He loves movies. But with the twins, we did a lot of sporting events. So, okay. Any other
Nope.
question?
Thank you so much for sharing all these.
No problem. No problem. Just get you some exposure of like what American culture is like. And maybe we weren't the real, maybe a typical family of that, but and here's one other thing too, and then I'll stop and we can start your story. But in the area where the boys grew up in high school, even before they were in high school and before they were playing high school football, we as a family we would just go to watch the high school football team play on Friday night in our town, and they weren't even on the team yet. But that's how much we liked it, and we just liked to support the school and the team and stuff like that. So we lived in a small town, but we used to go on Friday nights, and I think the boys were at the time were just in junior high, and they were playing football, but it wasn't as exciting as the high school football games. So every Friday night we would just go to the high school they ended up going to, of course, and we watch the football games every Friday. And we had a neighbor down the street. Her son did play on the high school football team, and my boys weren't old enough yet. They were younger. They were much younger. But we would do that, and that's a lot of fun. Even if you don't have a child playing, it's just a lot of fun to watch. Okay, all right. You ready to start Animal Farm?
Yes.
All right. I think you'll like it. It's not very long. All right. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm had locked the hen houses for the night, but was too drunk to remember to shut the pop holes. With the ring of light from his lantern dancing from side to side, he lurched across the yard, kicked off his boots at the back door, drew himself a last glass of beer from the barrel in the scullery, and made his way up to bed, where Mrs. Jones was already snoring. As soon as the light in the bedroom went out, there was a stirring and a fluttering all through the farm buildings. Word had gone around during the day that old Major, the prize middle white boar, had a strange dream on the previous night, and wished to communicate it to the other animals. It had been agreed that they should all meet in the big barn as soon as Mr. Jones was safely out of the way. Old Major, so he was always called, though the name under which he had been exhibited was Wellington Beauty, was so highly regarded on the farm that everyone was quite ready to lose an hour's sleep in order to hear what he had to say. At one end of the big barn, on a sort of raised platform, Major was already ensconced on his bed of straw, under a lantern which hung from a beam. He was 12 years old, and had lately grown rather stout, but he was still a majestic-looking pig, with a wise and benevolent appearance, in spite of the fact that his touches had never been cut. Before long, the other animals began to arrive and make themselves comfortable after their different fashions. First came the 3 dogs, Bluebell, Jessie, and Pincher, and then the pigs, who settled down in the straw immediately in front of the platform. The hens perched themselves on the window sills, and the pigeons fluttered up to the rafters. The sheep and cows lay down behind the pigs and began to chew the cud. The 2 cart horses, Boxer and Clover, came in together, walking very slowly and setting down their vast hairy hooves with great care, lest there should be some small animal concealed in the straw. Clover was a stout motherly mare, approaching middle life, who had never quite got her figure back after her 4th foal. Boxer was foal.
Yeah.
Boxer was an enormous beast, nearly 18 hands high, and as strong as any 2 ordinary horses put together. A white stripe down his nose gave him a somewhat stupid appearance, and in fact he was not of first-rate intelligence, but he was universally respected for his steadiness of character and tremendous powers of work. After the horses came Muriel, the white goat, and Benjamin, the donkey. Benjamin was the oldest animal on the farm, and the worst tempered. He seldom talked, and when he did, it was usually to make some cynical remark. For instance, he would say that God had given him a tail to keep the flies off, but that he would sooner have had no tail and no flies. Alone among the animals on the farm, he never laughed. If asked why, he would say that he saw nothing to laugh at. Nevertheless, without openly admitting it, he was devoted to Boxer. The two of them usually spent their Sundays together in a small paddock beyond the orchard, grazing side by side and never speaking. The two horses had just lain down when a brood of ducklings, which had lost their mother, filed into the barn, cheeping feebly and wandering from side to side to find some place where they would not be trodden on. Clover made sort of a wall round them with her great foreleg, and the ducklings nestled down inside it and promptly fell asleep. At the last moment, Molly, the foolish, pretty white mare who threw Mr. Jones' trap, came mincing daintily in, chewing at a lump of sugar. She took a place near the front and began flirting her white mare, hoping to draw attention to the red ribbons it was plated with. Last of all came the cat, who looked around, as usual, for the warmest place, and finally squeezed herself in between Boxer and Clover. There she purred contentedly throughout Major's speech, without listening to a word of what he was saying. All the animals were now present except Moses, the tame raven, who slept on a perch behind the back door. When Major saw that they had all made themselves comfortable and were waiting attentively, he cleared his throat and began. Comrades, you have heard already about the strange dream that I had last night. But I will come to the dream later. I have something else to say first. I do not think, comrades, that I shall be with you for many months longer. And before I die, I feel it my duty to pass on to you such wisdom as I have acquired. I have had a long life. I have had much time for thought as I lay alone in my stall, and I think I may say that I understand the nature of life on this earth, as well as any animal now living. It is about this that I wish to speak to you. Now, let us face it. Our lives are miserable, laborious, and short. We are born. We are given just so much food as will keep the breath in our bodies, and those of us who are capable of it are forced to work to the last atom of our strength. And in the very instant that our usefulness had come to an end, we are slaughtered with hideous cruelty. No animal in England knows the meaning of happiness or leisure after he is a year old. No animal in England is free. The life of an animal is misery and slavery. That is the plain truth. But is this simply part of the order of nature? It is because this land of ours is so poor that it cannot afford a decent life to those who dwell upon it? No, comrades, 1,000 times no. The soil of England is fertile, the climate is good. It is capable of affording food in abundance to an enormously greater number of animals than now inhabit it. This single farm of ours would support 12 horses, 20 cows, hundreds of sheep, and all of them living in a comfort and a dignity that are now almost beyond our imagining. Why then do we continue in this miserable condition? Because nearly the whole of the produce of our labor is stolen from us by human beings. There, comrades, is the answer to all our problems. It is summed up in a single word: man. Man is the only real enemy we have. Remove man from the scene, and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. Man is the only creature that consumes without producing. He does not give milk. He does not lay eggs. He is too weak to pull the plow. He cannot run fast enough to catch rabbits, yet he is lord of all the animals. He sets them to work. He gives back to them the bare minimum that will prevent them from starving. And the rest he keeps for himself. Our labor tills the soil, our dung fertilizes it, and yet there is not one of us that owns more than his bare skin. You cows that I see before me, how many you cows that I see before me, how many thousands of gallons of milk have you given during this last year? And what has happened to the milk, to that milk, which should have been breeding up sturdy calves? Every drop of it has gone down the throats of our enemies. And you hens, how many eggs have you laid in this last year? And how many of those eggs never ever hatched into chickens? The rest have all gone to market to bring in money for Jones and his men. And you, Clover, where are those 4 foals you bore, and who should have been the support and pleasure of your old age? Each was sold at a year old. You will never see one of them again. In return for your 4 confinements and all your labor in the fields, what have you ever had except your bare rations and a stall? And even the miserable lives we led are not allowed to reach their natural span. For myself, I do not grumble, for I am one of the lucky ones. I am 12 years old and have had over 400 children. Such is the natural life of a pig, but no animal escapes the cruel knife in the end. You young porkers who are sitting in front of me, every one of you will scream your lives out at the block within a year. To that horror we all must come, cows, pigs, hens, sheep, everyone. Even the horses and the dogs have no better fate. You, boxer, the very day that those great muscles of yours lose their power, Jones will sell you to the nectar, who will cut your throat and boil you down for the foxhounds. As for the dogs, when they grow old and toothless, Jones ties a brick around their necks and drowns them in the nearest pond. It is not crystal clear, then, comrades, that all the evils of this life of ours spring from the tyranny of human beings. Only get rid of man, and the produce of our labor will be our own. Almost overnight, we will become rich.
Okay, and we'll stop here, unfortunately, just because I have that other class. But we'll come back here. It's almost over with chapter 1. Any questions?
Oh,
No? Okay. You liking it already?
yes, it's kind of revolutionary.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. Anyway, hey, with that, Z, have a fantastic week and enjoy your swimming tomorrow. And thank you for sharing. And we'll see how our team to do on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good job. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You bet. Bye, Z.